AyUp, I'm G and I'm a UK streamer, and today we're playing Animula Nook. It's currently in alpha access, so developers have given creators access beforehand to experience the game and to feedback on good and bad qualities of it. I gotta say, and you'll see later, I just have amazing things to say. It's a free-to-play cozy simulation city building game, and it allows players to shrink down to size to explore and facilitate thriving communities from a household desk. We're going to meet unique characters, we're going to grow crops, and we're going to live a life like no other. Right now, we've just arrived in a spacious room, and it kind of feels a little bit familiar. I wonder why. And we're going to figure out why as the tutorial continues. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, and let's play Animula Nook. So movement in the game is pretty easy. It's just your standard WASD keys on the keyboard to move forwards, back, and go side to side. And then you use the mouse to change the direction that you want your character to move in. So here's me just trying to get the hang of the controls. And then I noticed that it wants me to change my clothes. So, I mean, it's logical to go to the mirror to have a look. So this is where you design your character, from the skin tone to the facial features and even the clothes. So I'm gonna go ahead and select that skin tone because that kind of resembles more like me. And now we've got the hairstyles in which we can select. Now these are the ones that you basically start with, but you can go ahead and unlock more hairstyles as the game continues. So let me select this one, and then you can obviously go ahead and change the color of the hair as well. So once we've gone ahead and done that, we can then go and change the eyes. Now there's not that many eyes in alpha, but I found a few. This one looks a little angry. So I did go ahead and select a more neutral one because I wanted a cozy little sim that kind of resembled what I look like in real life. So we've gone ahead and gone for a more neutral, rounded one. You can also go ahead and change the eye color, and there are 8 different eye colors that you can select at the moment. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and change the eyebrows. Now some of these are really funky, some of these are cool. It took me a while to try and settle on one that I actually liked, but we did go ahead and go for this chavvy look. Then you can go ahead and change the cheeks, and they had some bags that actually resembled bags that I have in real life, which I thought was a really nice touch. Now we can go ahead and change some of the outfits in which we're wearing. So I decided I was going to go for a cozy little feel, and I kind of wanted my outfits to go together and, you know, we're a bit trendy. So we're going to go for a nice little blue jacket with some nice oversized pair of trousers, and then this cute little hat that's knitted, and I thought it just, you know, really sealed the deal and made it look really cozy. I'm getting some vibes from older games, which I won't name, but I really do like the style of this game for sure. And it has a few aspects of cozy games that I've really spent a lot of time on in the past. So I was super excited to get my hands on this game. I was just showcasing a few more of the hats that they have here to start off with. But I think it's time now to continue with the story. Oh yeah, that's looking so much better now. That's completely the style in which I would probably dress in real life. So now it's time to continue with the story a little bit. So we found ourselves in a dusty drawer. So what happens now if we pull back this curtain? It shows a lot more of the world in which we found ourselves in. So, because now everything is shrunken down, we're a little confused about where we are. And it appears as if most of this looks familiar, but we can't really put our finger on why. So we go ahead and name your character, and this is the name in which everybody will know you by in-game, including the in-game characters, as well as then the open world where you get to play with other people. Okay, so these are definitely my favourite things in the whole entire game. They're called Whoopers, and they're basically a cat shrunken down into this mini world that we found ourselves in. Now, it took me forever to decide which one I actually wanted to use, because it appears that once you've selected this is the Whooper in which you will have for the rest of the time in the Minitopia. So if you watch the live stream, you will realise that it took me a long time to decide what Whooper I wanted. But for your sake, I definitely cut that down a lot. So we now are granted our Whooper, and he's going to tell us where to go next. It's absolutely incredible the amount of detail that this game has already. But this is the first time you can use Whooper as a glider. So these will help you get down from great heights, but also help you travel across little nooks and crannies. But this is the first time we see Animula Nook. And this, it turns out, is our desk. It's just now a little too big. We're going to now take a look at the desk and figure out what exactly we're doing here. So it reads, the desk is still a bit messy, I'll clean it up after the exams. Hopefully. I've had the little Prince and Gulliver's travels for ages. I'll turn them to the library after I'm done. For sure. Check out the club recruitment for this semester. Should I sign up for that photography club or not? So the next note says, please stop stepping on my keyboard. Last time you closed out my essay when I hadn't saved. It felt like the end of the world to me. When I get my living expenses this month, I'll be sure to buy the most expensive can of food there is. But for now though, you'll have to bear with some dry food. So the last note says, if I could really shrink like in the novels, could I crawl under the bookshelf to sleep? Or ride Whooper to explore the balcony? What am I thinking? I got an 8 AM class tomorrow morning. I'll be done if I don't hit the sack right now. Well, I think he spoke a little too soon. So if you know any of my gameplay from previous streams, you know that I collect everything. I'm a hoarder in these kind of games. I always think it's there for a reason, so why don't you actually just pick it up? You might need it sometime. And that's basically what I did for the next couple of minutes. I found these coins on the floor, I picked up these cards. There is a little barricade in a way right now, and it turns out these cards need to be knocked down. And there may just be a lollipop around the corner that we can use as a bat. Here it is. So to save you the trouble, I'm now back at the cards again, and you can literally just knock them down like that. And what I did then was I collected the cards that I knocked down because it's either probably a good selling item or we might actually need it for one of the quests. So to be better safe than sorry, I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and collect everything there is. So we've found Whooper, and it appears Whooper has found somebody else. This appears to be the first time that we can actually change our dialogue and change the path in which the conversation goes. So I thought I'd play it safe. Now we're going to hear of this stuff a lot. It's called AyUpGee, and it allows us to do things ordinary minis can't do in Minotopia. And we're going to go around now and start collecting all this emoji, which will give us some special abilities. So this is the emoji fragments. These fragments I will now need to go collect across the desk, and this will allow me to get a higher Wishweaver level. So to make things easier, and this is something you didn't see, I actually acquired a skateboard. And the skateboard was practically basically just handed to me. But it means now that travel is going to be a lot more efficient getting around, well, the desk in Minotopia. I have to admit, and this was a little sidetrack, I'm obsessed with the details in this game. And the developers didn't need to go to, well, the extent in which they did here. But as you can see, I'm running across the keys, and the keys are going down along with the weight that my character's dispersing across them. And I just honestly thought that was such a cool detail that I played around on the keyboard for way too long. Now at this point, I knew the game wanted me to get up there. I just didn't know how to get up there. So I was trying my luck and seeing if there was maybe a little quick way to get access, the top at the back. But turns out that's not the way in which the developers intended for me to access it. We actually had to go closer and use the alarm clock as a stepping stone. So while I'm continuing with this quest, I think it's probably a good idea now to say that this game is in alpha and quite a few creators have been given access for a limited time to test the build out, see how the game runs and provide feedback. The developers did say that like many players may encounter nearly 50 different minis which are original residents to Minotopia. And they will try activities such as cooking, dancing and performance art, which we will get to later in the video. But there's currently more than 500 outfits and furniture items available during this test. And the alpha that we're playing right now offers a broader look at the customization, exploration and community building systems that shape life in this tiny world. And I just have to say, it is a test and it is really early days, but the amount of detail already in this build is phenomenal. So this is the first time in which we get to now shrink something down on our desk, and later in the video we will shrink quite a lot down to make a lot of space. But I was deciding what I should go for first because I really did like that monitor. I thought it had a nice little backdrop, and that's exactly what I went for in the end after messing around. Now I realised this was quite a jump, but I wanted to show you as I was starting to clean up the desk. These blocks looked a little out of place. So as I gave them a hit, it did unlock one of the sections of the hobbies interface. Now I'm going to select construction because that's the only one that we have unlocked. And it now wants me to place some furniture down. It wants me to place a chair, so I mean, it's very cluttered right now and I didn't know where to really put it, so I just put it randomly here for the time being. As well as a chair, it wanted me to set up a little candle, which I'm gonna say is the bonfire to keep us warm, and it wanted us to construct a tent, which is made out of, funny enough, cards. So as we start wrapping up the in-game day, because one of the quests actually wants me to go to bed, I just wanted to reflect on the amount that we've already done, and it was basically the tutorial. We haven't got to the open world bit yet, where we get to meet other players in the same server as us. We haven't got a chance to explore the forests. But we have gone and started to develop our character, as well as meet one of the minis who unfortunately got themselves stuck on the wrong side of the window. I think the detail overall and the game is something that's incredibly appealing. To be in alpha access and have this much gameplay and very little bugs is super impressive, and I'm really excited to continue this series a lot further. So it appears I need to find a key now to open a balcony, which will allow me to discover the world outside of the desk. And this was truly a wow moment for me. I mean, I think the tutorial helped because it highlighted the fact of where the key was. And if it didn't do that, I think I would have spent the majority of my time trying to find this key. But the fact that it took me straight to it, well, it meant that, you know, I'm able to progress the tutorial a lot faster than I would have on my own if I didn't have the prompt showing me exactly where things were. So now we have the key, we're going to start heading over to the balcony to open it up. Now this is really where the game starts showing off. And we've now unlocked the outside world, and there's pretty much no going back now, and you'll see what I mean in part 2. In part 2 we're going to be doing gardening, we're going to be exploring further and heading to the village, Ruralville, where we're going to bump into many more characters as well as a few surprises. So if you've enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like, subscribe, And please comment below, are you really excited for this game? Would you like to see more of this? This is something I'm going to be streaming daily. So if you're subscribed, you're going to get those alerts of when I go live. And if you enjoy this series, expect part 2 in the coming days. But until then, I've been AyUpGee. Thank you so much for being part of today's video. We'll see you next time.